So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about something that happened recently. But before we get started, make sure that you guys leave your comments down below, subscribe, and let us know, what do you guys think about this episode? And what kind of questions do you have? Are there some things that you're going through right now that are discouraging? I want to share a story with you. So, as you guys know, I graduated with my master's in social work, awesome, from Salem State University. I actually did my commencement speech there, and I'll make sure to put that link down below so all of you guys can check that out. And it was a great experience, but we're not here for that right now, right? We're here to tell you guys, how can you take from disappointments into experiences and creating them into opportunities. So recently I went to a place, I won't name the place quite, but I was looking for an outpatient clinician job. I'm looking for a new job. As you guys know, I think it's a time to move into the next chapter of my career. Well, I'm getting ready. I do my resume. I do this and that, right? I apply for the job. I'm very excited. You know, as you go through school, a lot of times you hear about what are some opportunities that are available for, in my case, for social workers. Yeah. And I've done a little bit of everything in social work. I've done some advocacy. I've done some one-on-one mentoring. I even did therapeutic mentoring for my internship. And I was like, you know, I really want to go into a hospital setting and help youth. I want to go into a place where I can help youth one-on-one. And I was like, well, outpatient clinician is not necessarily within the hospital, but I'm going to be able to help youth. So I get ready, right? I get all sharp. I get dressed up. Everything's going great. I'm in prayer. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to crush this interview. But something inside of me was like, you know, is this for me? Have you ever had that feeling? Is this for me? Ask the person next to you, is this for me? Like this podcast, is it for you? I don't know, but I think it is. So let's see. And so what ended up happening, I did my first interview first. It was on Zoom, right? And by the way, if you do an interview on Zoom, guys and girls, look sharp. Make sure you look good, look presentable, because you're going to be treated the way you present yourself, right? And so be professional about who you are and what you want to transcend. So I do my interview on Zoom. Everything goes great. We crushed it, guys. Absolutely. Well, then we are getting an email and it tells us, we are ready for you to come in and do the clinical interview. And I said, okay, here I am. I'm breathing. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Am I going to meet like Dr. Phil? Is he going to interview me? I don't know. Oh my goodness. And so far, so good. I'm like, okay, I'm going to pray. It's going to go well. I'm going to trust God, right? And I'm at peace. I'm relaxed. And then the interview comes about. And I drive all the way out there. Yes, for you guys that are wondering, I am completely blind. And when I say I drive, I know a lot of you guys know I'm kidding. But I turn on my GPS. And if I'm driving the car, please get out of the way or be very worried about me. But no, I was not driving. I took a Lyft there. And I get there. And as soon as I get there, I just like, even on the way there, I felt this vibe in my heart. Like, I don't know, but I know that I have to do this. What does the Bible say? The Bible said, seek and you will find. Knock and the door shall be open. Ask and it shall be given to you. I'm knocking on doors, guys. I'm asking around. I'm not stopping. I'm relentless on my pursuit to the new chapter in my career. Well, I walk in there, ready to crush it, right? And I start the interview. And it's going okay. It's going well. But then it gets to the part about how much experience do I have working in a one-on-one clinical setting, and how independent am I with making clinical choices? And this is where it hit me hard. Have you ever been to an interview where they tell you, we're looking for someone with experience? Oh my gosh. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, you are experienced. Tell yourself, I have the experience that I need. And if I don't, I'm gonna get it, right? And so I'm in there and I'm trying to play it off like, you know, not lying, obviously, but I'm being honest, right? And I'm saying, you know, I do have this and I do that and the other, because I was telling her, you know, one of the things that I do as a therapeutic mentor is that I have to lean into our clinician. Yeah, that's part of doing therapeutic mentoring with youth. You have to lean into your clinician because you're making choices together as a team. And in this particular choice, we make choices together as what they call CRA, Child Requiring Assistance. And for those of you that don't know what a CRA is, it's usually a court-ordered status on an individual, usually in elementary, middle, or high school, who has a lot of behavioral issues, they're running away from home, and so forth, right? And so I have to lean into my clinician because she's part of the CRA team. We create diversion plans, youth diversion plans for our youth. So I tell her all of this, and she said, you know, Dany, we're really looking for somebody that has more clinical independence in making decisions and has more experience with outpatient as an outpatient clinician. I'm like, well, I understand, but what are the steps that I can take to get there? And she looks at me like I have a billion heads. She's like, well, typically we get our interns. And in the back of my head, I'm like frustrated, right? Like, well, then what am I doing here if I'm not an intern? And you know I'm not an intern, right? And I'm like, well, who else do you get? Well, we typically look for people that have some years of experience. And I'm like, I don't have that. What would you suggest would be a good path for me to get there? So she mentioned, you know, intensive care coordinator. This is all nerd talk for like other positions, right? Intensive care coordinator, student assistance partner, or program, stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I just felt crushed. I felt destroyed. I felt distraught. I felt discouraged, right? I felt very, very unmotivated. And, you know, I kind of used the last few seconds to try to convince her, like, well, you know, I think if you give me a shot and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But I do it with confidence. Right? When you go to an interview, you want to go with confidence. Yeah? You want to go and crush it. Well, it happened, and she's like, uh-huh. And in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, that's my key. I need to leave. Alrighty. Well, thank you very much. I'll be out of my way, and thank you for your time, okay? And I leave. And I'm in the car, and you guys probably saw this. If you guys seen me on Instagram, you can go to instagram.com/ or follow me at Dany Acosta Official. That's also in the description below, guys. So make sure you follow us there. But I did an IG video, and I was talking about this story, right? And I won't go into that. You guys can check that out for yourselves. But after that video, I still felt like very destroyed in my heart. And I remember telling a friend, they asked me, so how was the interview? And I said, it was a disaster. Think about that word, a disaster. Usually we think of natural disasters. Oh, this was a very natural disaster. I was naturally not a good fit. But let me tell you something about a natural disaster. There is a supernatural intervention that begins to occur that you have to believe that there's a better opportunity out there. See, guys, I could have seen it as, I'm not fit for this. Why did I get my master's? This is dumb. I don't deserve a better job. I should have done another path, blah, 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 right? But it's my choice. And I chose to say, you know what? Yes, this is difficult, but I'm going to use this opportunity that could have been a disaster to make it a door for more opportunities. Because that door began to open more opportunities for me. And guess what? Since that day, I applied to 3 more jobs within the next 72 hours. Because we don't give up. It is time that we begin to knock on doors. So I don't know what disaster you just went through while you're watching this, but I believe this is for you. Whatever you're going through right now, I want to let you know, turn your disaster into an opportunity. Turn your disaster into an opportunity to change your life, to start a new chapter. So what if there's conflict in your life? There is no great story told without conflict, right? So guys, with that said, remember, even if it is a disaster, it can become something beautiful.